Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Sofa Squad. I hope y'all are well. Y'all know how we do it here. If you can hear me, please drop a number one in the comment section so that I know that I'm not talking to myself. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Where's the volume? There we go. Pamela came in with a number one. So did Monkey. So did Judy. So did Christine. Hello, Idiot Monkey. Hello, Sherry Taylor. And Kristen and Sherry. How's everybody doing? Hey, Matt. Thank you. Hey, Tux. Thank you. Hey, Carly. Heather. Indy. Northwest. Sweets. Amy. Allison Liz. Imster. How's everybody doing? Come here. I hope you all are doing. Hello, Mr. Derek, and in fact, everybody, welcome our lovely, wonderful people to the sofa, to the stage. Emily, our lovely human, our lovely friend, our lovely moderator, and Derek, our lovely friend, our lovely moderator, our lovely human as well. I hope y'all are doing well. Um, hey, Stormy, how's it going? It's good seeing you. Hey, John, how's it going? I hope everybody's doing good. So y'all already know. So if there, I feel like everybody knows both channels or whatever, but I guess some people probably don't know the other channel or channels. I should say, come here. So, but hold on, let me grab them. Y'all know we got two new babies here at the Sofa Squad, and come here. I'm not gonna lie, they have run me ragged today, but I'm very thankful for it and happy to be run ragged by them. I'm just getting them out of their little cage. I put them in there so I could get situated here. I've got their cage set up next to me. Now let me get to the live screen here so I'm not watching this. Okay, so here we are. Hold on. Okay, wait. Oh, please help. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody! They smell, well, they smell like dirty puppy now, but they smell like that little puppy. Oh my gosh. I've been giving so many kisses. So many kisses today. Oh, yes, I have. So, so last we met William and Connor. Now, a Sofa Squad member, the first email that I saw about this was from Rachel. I can't remember the last name right now. If you're here, claim your fame. And she wrote and was like, what would you think about naming them Bo and Luke to continue on with the Roscoe, P. Coltrane thing? And I was like, why didn't I think of that? And so I had like a day or so to kind of watch their personalities. 100% Bo and Luke personalities. Come here. Um, so their official names are Bo Williams. So I'm keeping the two names that I did, Bo and Connor, because I still love Tennessee Williams, Flannery Connor. But their official like legal names are Bo William and Luke Connor. Come here, it's okay. And so that's their official name. So they've been doing great. And in fact, I ordered stuff. They got playpens coming in, all that kind of stuff. And then they just got their little new toys in. Hold on, I was going to show them to you. I literally just opened the thing. Come here, it's okay. They just finished napping, of course. You know what I'm saying? So, looky. These are from the Sofa Squad. Isn't this cute? I just got like a little thing. They have all the other dogs' toys here. They love the scrunchy stuff, if you can hear that. They love that. The squeaky stuff kind of scares them right now, but they're still kind of, into it. Oh, they're looking at these toys like, what are you putting them over there for? Now, we have had a traumatic day because Daddy had to run errands, and they had to stay in their little cage set up here. Well, I have video cameras, of course, all over the place, but I have one, like a puppy cam, basically, that I can watch them. So one of them, which I'm assuming is maybe the Luke one, is, he's like, oh, the human will be back later to feed us, whatever, I'm just going to nap. And the other one, climbing up the wall, screaming, climbing the cage, freaking out. You name it. So it was a very traumatic day for them. They went for a walk down the driveway, but I just held them and took them down the driveway. They went to the vet, their very first vet appointment yesterday, and they one of them weighs 1.5 pounds, and the other's 1.25 pounds. Um, and basically they're completely identical, except one of their faces is lighter. You can kind of this wait no this one right here. So this is Bo William. This is Luke Connor. One of their teeth aren't fully in, the other is. Um, so there's that. So, but that's that. So we're gonna see how this goes. They recorded their first video today. P Diddy. Of all videos, bless their hearts, they looked at me in hard the whole time. We're going to talk about it in a second. And they did pretty good. So they recorded yesterday's video in the Swedish, I'm sorry, the Switzerland, come here, um, case that went down. I made a video of it, but they slept in their little bag on the bed the whole time. I didn't dare want to, disturb them. And so they slept the whole time. But today's video, oh no, they were like, we are in for it, daddy. Okay. Who is this P. Diddy Diddy? We don't want nothing to do with him. It's okay, baby. Look, you want your toys? You want to go play with toys now? Is that what it is? You can't run around. So pretty much I've just been doing puppy stuff since 2 in the morning. It hit me a few minutes ago. I was like, I could fall over. Okay, there we go. Hold on. Okay, wait, so the Nightbot, yes, I have Nightbot up. Nightbot. Hold on, so you see the little, I did some pre-save things, but let's go back over here, and then let's go to chat moderation. Okay, so excessive caps of repetition. So the only thing that is not, that it's monitoring is repetition, but I'll take that off, and then it filters out links. But everything else is turned off, so it shouldn't be doing the emojis or anything like that. But I bet the repetition, yeah, so that's probably what was doing it. It was the repetition because of the way we do our emojis. So that should, be good. Let me come back over to y'all. Please hold. It's okay. Thank you, Sandy. So, there is that. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. See, one of them is chewing on the new toys, and you already know which one. Luke is beside himself. So, Luke's going to come with me, and we're going to sit here. Now, let's start talking or squeaking. And yeah, just let me know if there's any more like, yes, and yeah, Emily has her own Nightbot message. We love you, Emily. Very much more than words could say. Emily, and I can't remember if I put it in the thing, but Emily is a founding Sofa Squad member. Literally. I think you were there in the first live chat, right? She's been there. She's seen some things. Right? So, and I love everybody here. Y'all, literally, I absolutely just appreciate y'all, everybody here that brings me joy and laughter and gets these cases and whatnot. So I wanted to kind of do a live check because I haven't done one over here. Couple of things. So I put Sarah Boone up here because I thought that her hearing was today, and I kept checking for it. And I told the Patreon chat, I was like, I thought Sarah had a court date. It's tomorrow. So let me, before I even say it, please hold out. Please hold. What I'm getting ready to say is I'm going to live stream the hearing tomorrow because it just works out to do that. But before I say it, let me just double check on my thing. Okay, we will be live streaming Sarah's hearing tomorrow. I believe it is at 1:30 Eastern Time. So, there's that. Yeah, and Stormy's another founding Sofa member here. Stormy's in the house. Pardon me. So yeah, I'll post things up tomorrow when it gets closer. But we'll be doing the Sarah Boone hearing. We're gonna go over I looked through some of the motions and stuff. There's gonna be a lot. Come here. It's okay. I know you want to play. There's gonna be a lot of motions that they're gonna go over tomorrow. But there's one in particular that I want to go over tonight with y'all. So there's several things you can see that I want to go over. I want to go over that. I can't hold off any longer to talk about the Chimp Crazy movie documentary, because I was gonna do like, okay, well, I'll just do like a very professional like standalone live chat on it. I don't know if we'll get to that because so much is going on. So I want to talk about that, and then P Diddy. I recorded a read through of the indictment earlier today, so it'll probably take a couple of days to get it ready or whatever. We'll talk about the highlights of that because let me tell you what, y'all. First of all, let me just say this. Obviously, this is alleged. We know this, right? Okay, so you know how like with the feds come to you with a case, like you're pretty much done, right? Like the feds are kind of like, we've already got the evidence. How do you want to make a deal? But you ain't gonna win this case, okay? Y'all, he's toast. Okay, he's toast. The stuff that I was reading in there, yes, and Carly Nicole says, "Oh, it's bad. 1,000 bottles of lube." This was my thing, and I said this in the video. I think where I was like, I got that where I was like, imagine having that kind of money to where you could do that, and then I was like, imagine the necessity, like to where you're thinking, you know what, just go ahead and get 1,000 bottles of the lube. We'll probably use it up next month. It's here. We already have it. That's how integrated this. I don't even know what you call it. Business exploitation. What he was doing. That's how much was there, okay? Now, I said this in the video too because here's the thing. Like when I was growing up, now I listened to different kind of music when I was in high school. Like I was like Jane's Addiction, Indigo Girls, The Cure, and I still listen to that. But as I got older, I listened to like several different things. But like when I was growing up, P. Diddy, Little Kim, Biggie Smalls, Mace, who else? Eve, that was a little bit after that. Snoop Dogg. These were like the people, the music industry, the hip hop industry, all that, right? So for me to be watching P. Diddy, and I was trying to equate it to like today's generation, I'm like, it maybe would be like Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? Coming out with like, she did all those horrible things. So I'm trying, like, for me, I'm like, what? So there's several questions that go through my mind. First and foremost, who all knew? Okay. Number one, I'm sitting here like, what does little Kim have to say? Right? Like, and you got to remember, I know like some people are like, oh, I'm a Barb, whatever. I like both little Kim and Nicki. Little Kim was like literal trendsetter. Okay. She and P. Diddy, they were all wrapped up around each other. So I'm sitting here like, huh? Oh my God, Lorraine, I saw that. Did you see Jane's Addiction canceled their tour? Can you believe that? They canceled the tour. Perry Farrell's totally off the hook, right? Not good right now. So, hey, Sandy, the Nightbot thing, we'll post it, I think, every 5 minutes. So the links that you're seeing Nightbot do, it will bring them, back up. So just be on the lookout. So there's that. So the big things that stood out to me in the P. Diddy indictment were this. Obviously, the 1,000 bottles of lube, right? Major. This is what I feel like it is going. So what he was doing is basically using his power, right? I mean, he is like the music industry, right? So he was basically throwing these freak. God, what were they called again, y'all? Not freak bad, freak. I can't believe I forgot it. I've said it 1,000 times today. Freak something. Y'all help me out here. Freak something. Parties or whatever. And essentially just major freak offs. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's like, in that freak off is so weird sounding, right? He was throwing these freak offs. And essentially, this is my take on it. What he was doing was bringing in women, bringing in men. He was hiring professional men, if you will, adult workers, bringing women in. Some of them were probably professional, but it sounded to me like the women were getting more exploited. He was essentially having people orchestrating acts between people, exploitation, trafficking, all this kind of stuff, videotaping it, and then using the videotape as leverage to get what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? So imagine all these people that were on the radio currently, all that type of stuff. Oh, thanks, Sherry. Um, and one of the ways that they could have possibly, not one of the ways they got there, because they could have been talented, right? But then they got involved with Diddy, and he's like, well, I'm going to do A, B, and C. So I could totally see how this goes. Like, he was having dudes do stuff with dudes. And this is the thing, I'm like, there's like some hard ass rappers out there right now talking about living a certain way, that there's probably video of them doing some very interesting things with other dudes, okay? That would absolutely destroy the reputations if it got out. Same thing with the women. Like, I mean, he used this. It was like blackmail. That's what he was doing, right? So, yeah. So he was doing all that. So then, as I see some people saying, J Lo, go back over your mind to all the people. Now, there's this woman. I can't think of her name right now. She's on TikTok. Y'all help me out here because you probably know when I start to describe her. She's somehow in the music industry. Okay, and she's the one who says the P diddler. Okay, that P diddler thing. She's been saying this for years, and nobody would listen to her at first. They're like, "Oh, you're just bitter. You're just this. You're just that. Whatever." But then she's like, "It's all true." And now a lot of people were saying this too in the comment sections about her. They're like, the fact that none of these people are suing her for defamation speaks volumes. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't think about that. Because, yeah, the stuff she's putting out there, these people don't want to say anything because they don't want the information out there. I can assure you, there's a lot of people right now pooping in their pants, okay? Hold on. Because their career, I mean, literally some of the stuff that could come out will be insanely shameful. Not only for the people who chose to help and victimize other people, but people who were put in that scenario who would be considered victims and who were exploited by him. Because, I mean, it would be really embarrassing, right? For them, even though there should be no shame in that or whatever because they were a victim, nonetheless, it's like if they're presented a certain image and he has this videotape of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, um, it's bad. So he absolutely is. If all this is proven true, I'm talking next level monster, and I think you're getting ready to see the music industry absolutely get shaken to the core. Okay, who was that movie director that got that producer or whatever, that really gross guy? That she said his thing looked like a mushroom. Remember that? Like, or that it was deformed. It was so tiny or something. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like him, Epstein, all the. Literally, y'all. Cat Williams said 2024 the truth was going to come out, right? Weinstein, thank you, and Epstein, yeah. Um, and so far, this is. I know. I mean, it's whoa, okay. So now I also go over this. Now, what I'm going to do too is, so like I said, the read through of that will come out maybe in a couple of days. I also want to go through, and now like I've been obviously from that being like Kim Porter and what's up with this, I also want to know. Number one, obviously Biggie's not here to speak for himself anymore, right? But does his murder have anything to do with that? You see what I'm saying? Like, does like any of that stuff? Like, you have to start looking at all of P Diddy's associates. Now, one thing that this woman said too on TikTok is she was like, J Lo knows. She was like, P Diddy is the only man that didn't run screaming from J Lo and talked highly of her. Everyone else has run screaming. And she literally will tell, she will literally sit here and go through and be like, on this date, this happened, blah, 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 blah. And she'll be like, remember when Justin Bieber and Usher had him in his, under his care because he was under 18, and then he took him to Diddy's, and then he did this, and blah, 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 blah. I mean, you see what I'm saying? It's like she comes with the receipts. And so, literally, y'all, and she's talking about something about Kim Kardashian. So it's bad. It's bad. So more power to the women that came forward. Okay, come here. I know. Someone's very, very, very excited. Your brother's sleeping. You want to go get some water with him? Or are we going to cry? See, we're going to cry. It's okay, though. Okay, come on. Why don't we go sit down for a minute? That would be fun. Yeah. Let's see what he'll do. He's chewing on one of the toys. We'll see what he's gonna do. Um. Okay. So yeah, he's chewing on one of his little toys. His brother's sleeping. Uh. One of them just has. Whoo, I'm talking about a lot of energy. Okay, a lot. But I'm here for it. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna very quickly go over just a couple of headlines here. I'm not gonna even share them. But one thing. So we have Casey's assault lawsuit and more. This is another ex of Diddy's. So these are things that are coming forth. So ex-girlfriend Casey has R and assault allegations. Multiple women have come forward with similar claims of alleged misconduct by the music mogul, and she's coming forward. Then Kim Porter, this is the mother of four of his children. Now, remember, she is no longer with us. She passed away. She probably well, yeah, exactly, knew a lot of stuff. I'm not saying it in a negative connotation, but I mean, she was married to the man, right? So she probably took a lot of secrets to her grave, and probably suffered at his hand. Could you imagine being married to the man? Because he probably ran that household with an iron fist. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Carly says, yeah, that young interview Justin Bieber with Diddy, with him saying Justin was going to be with him all weekend and breaking him, something like that. Yeah, it was creepy as hell, right? I mean, seriously. Justin's probably seen some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably seen some stuff and I mean, that's the thing that we're seeing. And I said this in the video that I did today. I think this is one of the things that all of us are living through this time right here, especially like if you're of my age where, like when you grew up or when I grew up, Hollywood and the music industry was a very other than thing. It was very exclusive. We're talking Michael Jackson's, Diana Ross, these otherworldly famous figures that the general public didn't ever have a concept of how you could ever become that or know that. Hollywood was Hollywood. We're talking Tom Cruise, which some of these people are still going, the Tom Cruise, the Brad Pitt, these mega famous people. Well, now, because of social media, it's almost like anyone can be famous, and the barrier that was there before with these celebrities and stuff is gone. Like, we have kind of direct access to them. They're on social media, they're talking, they're doing this. Yes, some of it's orchestrated, but for the most part their lives have become very open. And so because of this transparency has become thinner to how things work. When Hollywood could completely control the narrative, and I'm lumping the music industry in with Hollywood when I say that, old Hollywood, when they completely controlled that, they did the tabloids, they did promotional pictures, there was no Instagram, there's none of this stuff going. They could control the narrative. They still can, but not like back then. It's not the same. It's not the same. So now it's like more accessible. But these old school Hollywood people, they're used to, they're like, well, you know what? I get to exploit people. I get what I want. Y'all, somebody said this, I forget where, maybe on the other channel. They're like, I'm watching Blink Twice the day that this is going off. And I'm like, exactly. Blink Twice, if you watch that, you know what I'm talking about. That movie I did a review on. You know, I'm like, this was P. Diddy's Island. This is probably what life was like there, except with a lot of abuse or whatever. Um, so, it's just all of this stuff is like, it's just becoming transparent. So there, and I think it's good and bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's I'm sure obviously people in Hollywood and music and stuff like that, pardon me, they don't want that. They want to keep like the secret society, if you will, secret. You know what I'm saying? But it's just not that way anymore. I mean, Hollywood, LA, when you look, it's just influencers. Like that's where everything's switching to. The Hollywood celebrity as we know them, I think will be a thing of the past. And it'll switch over to, I can't think of like a super mega famous influencer or whatever. but these, the ones that are famous like that, uh, the number one podcast is who? Joe Rogan, and right behind him is Tana and Brooke. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Trisha Paytas, it's just, I mean, she's kind of controversial, but so is Tana and Brooke, I guess, and so is Joe Rogan, I guess. I mean, they all are, right? But you see where I'm going with this, right? So it's crazy. So where I think it's good is it's bringing this kind of the industry down. You know what I'm saying? And exposing it. And bringing light to this, and these people can't get away with this stuff anymore, and it's just we're gonna probably see this like for the literally these people who we used to maybe look up to or consider like this otherworldly person. The image is gonna keep crashing down because it's gonna take generations to get that washed out. But then too, you hear the same thing going on with some of these influencer people. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just switched over to a different way, right? So I don't know. It boggles me that these people, look at all the money and the fame that P Diddy had, all the things you could be doing. You could, but I mean, I guess you get bored. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm like, you could be visiting every country, shopping, doing charities, and I'm like, Paul, he probably already did that, and he was probably just into like this, perverted stuff. And he thought he was God, right? Think about now the lyrics and stuff like that, where it's like all this organized crime stuff, and I'm like, but this was the organized crime? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously? No, absolutely not. Okay, wait, hold on. I don't have my glasses, but I can see Joe. No, I missed it. But Joe said the name of the woman who was talking about all this. So Jaguar Wright, I believe. Jaguar Wright, yeah, baby, yeah. That's who. That's who. Pardon me. So, Wilma says, R. Kelly and Diddy going to make some fire music and Joe. Maybe they could collab. Maybe we could get a collaboration. Didn't R. Kelly release an album from prison or something like that? Like something crazy where I was like, this is the day and age we live in, right? It's like literally, it's so insane, okay? Um, this is the day and age we live in. So, anyways, let me get back over to this screen over here. So that's the P. Diddy stuff. Some, again, I'm going to kind of follow some of it and go down the rabbit hole on it a little bit of like trying to answer my own questions. And, you know, there you go. Yeah, Wilma says Cat Williams also told him to, yeah. And who was it that 50 Cent kept saying the whole time? Like, he was like calling somebody out too. But maybe that was the 3-6 Mafia. This amazes me, all this like information that I know, like these random facts, whatever. Hey Tori, how's it going? Um, so Mo Money, Mo Nipples. I mean, 100%, Carol. I'm just reading your comments here. 50 calling out Diddy. I thought so. Hey Mimi, how's it going? Hey Lauren. I thought he was. So yeah, literally. Again, in fact, I'm dying to know what Lil Kim has to say, and I shouldn't be that invested. Lil Kim, she's probably being real damn quiet right now. P Diddy. Let's go and look. Let's see here. Recalls Lil Kim stepping in from jail to Lil Kim, Fat Joe. Why aren't Diddy's famous friends speaking up? I mean, literally, everyone's real quiet because they probably knew. How would you not, right? How would you not know this? Now, I heard some people in interviews talking about, I went to P. Diddy's for the weekend. I didn't see anything going on or whatever. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm assuming he has a massive house because other people were talking about, yeah, the party would be going on, but then after that was done, he would have the freak off after that. And that's when things got freaky. And they're like, yeah, there probably were people that could say they went to P. Diddy's house for the weekend and didn't see anything, you know, for whatever reason. I would imagine I was gonna say, but I already was like, I think I was wrong. Like, imagine if someone like P Diddy, if someone had a very established career on their own without him, and they came in, he might be afraid of that. You know what I'm saying? Of them like exposing him or whatever. Like, I don't know. Um, so, anyways, so that's the P Diddy stuff. Okay, so let me get rid of the what do you call it? The screens of that, and move on to the next one. Please hold. P Diddler, the Diddler. Where are we at? Okay, where did the? Here it goes. Okay. Okay, y'all. Buckle your seatbelts up. Okay, okay. We're going to switch gears over to Chimp Crazy for a minute. Drop a one if you watch the damn documentary, okay? At this point, we're going to call it the damn documentary, right? Because I'm like, literally put it on. What's today? Like, I don't even know what day. Maybe Monday when we got back into town. Could not get up from the damn sofa watching it. Literally sitting here. Okay, so I'm going to say a couple of things. A couple of them might be controversial. Y'all just help me out here when we get to them. But I'm going to tell you what it's about. And let me find the screen here. No, didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. Please hold. Please hold. Okay. So you see on the screen here, this is the HBO show. So this is where it's at. It's on HBO Max or HBO, whatever it is. It's called Chimp Crazy. The dude who did Tiger King did this, okay? We're just going to kind of quickly go over it. So we're going to read the thing right here. So former nurse turned exotic animal broker Tanya Haddix, who refers to herself as the Dolly Parton of chimps, spends her days caring for animals in captivity. However, her limitless love for one chimpanzee spins into a wild cat and mouse game with authorities and an animal rights group. Through the experiences of Tanya and other chimp moms, Chimp Crazy reveals the bonds between owners and their highly intelligent great ape pets, the risk humans take when they raise these animals as members of their family, and the risk to the welfare of the animals themselves. HBO presents Chimp Crazy, a Good Films production, director Eric Good, producers, it just goes into that. Okay, so the first one, and we're just going to make this bigger so you can get a vibe. This is Tanya. She looks good in this picture right here, okay? Part of the thing here is this. Is she is a character. She is reality TV. She is all those things. She is the Tiger King vibes. You can see her here. She wears mega wigs. They are not as good as Dolly's. I'm just going to have to say that. She goes to the tanning salon multiple times a week. She gets, her lips filled up. Bling, bling, bling. So she's a character. She's interesting to watch. And whether you hate watch her or you like her, whatever, she is a human that you're just like curious by, right? Okay, so she makes for good television is what I'm trying to say. So she starts off working in a sanctuary. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know if I would call it a sanctuary. It was a woman that was basically like famous within that world of monkeys and chimpanzees and stuff like that, and like exotic animals. So Tanya ends up going over there to work. PETA gets involved at some point, thanks Kathy, and sends an undercover in there who's basically like saying like, I didn't like the way things were, I knew they loved the animals, but so she goes to PETA and she works with PETA. She goes in undercover, she does all this recording. PETA builds a case up. So long story short, PETA is able to go in and successfully get the chimpanzees removed. Now, I will mistakenly go between calling them monkeys and chimpanzees and all this stuff, so I apologize. They will successfully go in and have 7 of them removed to go put them in probably a more appropriate sanctuary type vibe. Obviously, at this point, these animals cannot live in the wild and whatnot. So there's that. Now, there's 2 things going on here. Do I think that they were physically abusing these animals? No, not at all. But they genuinely love these animals, okay? Genuinely, absolutely love these animals. Did that love cloud better judgment? Yes. And long term care? Yes. And we'll get to the ways that it did that um, in a minute. And Gregory brings up an amazing point that I'm going to get to in a minute because this, I felt a lot of ways about watching this. So it says if it's PETA, they'll likely just euthanize them like they do with thousands of animals a year. I definitely felt a certain way about PETA, and that's why when watching this, I was so conflicted because I felt so many different ways. Because, like, spoiler alert, the people who were from PETA in this film, I absolutely did not like. Okay, their vibe, I get goosebumps. I did not care for them because I could sympathize with Tanya and Connie, I believe her name was, that she worked for, their love for the animal, right? Um, and that care. And then PETA comes in and is very cold and they're lawyers and all this stuff, and there's no sympathy for the. It's like this: we're going after them. We're gonna get them kind of a thing, and I didn't like the representatives from PETA at all. So therefore, PETA was represented in a very not good light in this documentary, even if I felt like something needed to be done in this because this was not going to end well, and we'll get to what I mean in a minute. Okay, so she, meaning Tanya, says, so we're going back to the thing, right? Okay, so thanks, Lauren. So they come to take the monkey or the whatever, the chimpanzee, the monkeys, and they're basically like, okay, it has to happen on this date, and Tanya can't be there. She has to be off the property. She's like, okay. So they come to get them. They get them, and they have to, put them to sleep and do this and blah blah blah, da da da. So they're like, well, this is all great and dandy, but we're missing one. And Tanya is like, thanks, Cookie. Um, Tanya's like, oh, well, Tonka died and he was cremated. He had congestive heart failure. He wasn't, doing well, whatever. So, there's that. So this kicks off PETA absolutely investing all they can into coming after this woman, Tanya, to prove that Tonka is alive. Okay. So there's that. Okay. So we see them coming after her. Now, from her viewpoint, she's like, literally, you see hours of her in court and doing all this type of stuff, talking about, I walked in the room and Tonka was dead. I can't. Oh my gosh. I mean, like, y'all, she puts it on very, very heavy, right? So she's doing all this. Well, then, spoiler. Now, we're getting into spoiler alerts here, okay? We're getting into spoiler alerts. So, then you're 3 series in, and she has this thing where she feels like she won the motion against Peter or whatever in this thing, where she hangs up. She's at this new house. She's opening up basically like a little petting zoo. And this is where I have issues with what she was doing because I'm like, yeah, this is getting a little exploitive. We'll get into that in a second. So then she's like, oh, we just have to keep Tonka hidden now. And the documentary crew is like, huh? Tonka has been living in the basement the whole time. Okay, now let me rephrase that. She did essentially traffic Tonka to some dude, and Tonka stayed there for a minute while the moving was going on, all this kind of stuff, and then Tonka was brought to the new house, lived in the basement. Now, she brought Tonka up a flight of stairs in a cage in like a Motel 6 while they were on the road. They show the video footage of her and whoever her husband dragging the cage up the stairs. I'm like, honey, seriously? Are you serious? Okay, now I'm kind of just getting you through the story. We'll go off to some side stories here in a second. So, long story short, she tells the documentary people that she has the damn chimpanzee downstairs. Now, this is where I get like this. I understand she loves him. She openly says throughout this, I love him more than my son, more than my children, more than my husband. Her son openly says he knows Tonka's first. My mother loves yes, this is a thing. I know this. I've always known this. They come first, right? So at this point, Tonka is living in the basement. He doesn't go outside anymore. He can't, right? Because PETA's trailing her. This is where it's like, this is really bad. I understand she loves him. I can't imagine somebody wanting to rip that away from me. I would be super pissed too. I get it. I would be really, really mad if I was her. She has every right to be. But this is where this is not good for Tonka. It gives me goosebumps. Like, your heart breaks for him. But also, this is where accidents happen. At the end of the day, Tonka is a wild animal. And when I say wild, you know what I'm saying. Um, with brutal strength. We'll get into that in a second. So this was not going to end well for her or one of her family members, because Tonka would do what Tonka does. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, the documentary people have to turn her in. Okay. And she doesn't even know, God bless her, who turned her in until a Rolling Stone article comes out. They show her on the phone and everything. She's talking to the director, the pretend director. And she said, well, someone turned me in. I'm like, how many people did you tell? And she said, well, I told my friends and I told this. I'm like, you what? What are you, huh? Why? Why? Whatever. So a sanctuary comes, they get Tonka. Tonka lives in an amazing sanctuary, y'all. I'm talking, they have like, what, 7 different islands with families of chimpanzees and monkeys and all this stuff that live there. So Tonka, amazing. Again, I get that her heart would be broken over this. Okay, so there's that. She's still, whatever. She finds out that it was them and she's pissed and all this type of stuff. So let's rewind a little bit. As you're watching this, you're getting these side stories of these events that have taken place. And one of them probably y'all are familiar with. It's probably one of the most famous ones. And this was the monkey that ripped the owner's friend's face off in Connecticut. Okay. So this person was coming over to watch this chimpanzee, whatever. And I can't remember his name. It was either Travis or I can't remember. And something happened. And he had been around this woman many times, and he went off and ate her face. If you saw the Oprah show, then you know what I'm talking about. It's horrible. Hey, just scrap him. Okay, so the cop that had to eventually kill that chimp, okay, Mama says it's Travis. He was talking about the day it went down, and so basically, like you hear the 911 call, they get there. Well, rescue can't come on the property until they. Hold on, are we okay, buddy? They can't come on the property until they secure the the animal. So the cop's like, I pull up. There's a blob of flesh, right, on the thing. A blob of flesh is blood. They don't even know they're alive. They don't know if it's a guy or a woman, what. So he's like, we pull up, and he's like, and the monkey, I'm going to keep calling it the monkey, the chimpanzee, I'm sorry, comes up to like the passenger window, and he's like, and it's doing something to the window or whatever. And he was like, when you see that scene in Jurassic Park where the velociraptors are coming down to the cars and doing it, he's like, that's what my car was doing. And he's like, and I got my gun ready. And he's like, and then he walks around to my door. And he said, and this gives me goosebumps, y'all. He says, we made eye contact. And he said, I know he didn't talk. I know the chimp can't talk. I know this. He was like, but it's like for a second he looked in my eyes, and it was like he told me, just end this. Just end this. And he said, then the chimp, Travis, whatever his name was, rips the door off the cop car. Rips it off. Literally gives me goosebumps, y'all. And he shoots him several times. It doesn't kill him. He runs inside. God bless his heart. It makes me want to cry. Um, he runs inside and eventually dies. Okay, obviously, like the cops shot him several times, but the fact that he was able to run back inside to his little cage area, and bless his heart, and I know that he attacked the woman, all that, but it's like this is what happens. Now, the friend of the woman who owned Travis was like, yes, she wouldn't say this or admit to it, but her body was bruised all over from him. Like he was just, this was inevitable. A situation was on its way, right? So then it turns out the woman's still alive, okay? And I mean, he basically kind of ate her, right? And apparently, when these animals like eat someone, it's like a shark. Like if they bite your leg, like they're biting your leg off in chunks of it, okay? There was another thing, another family on there with a woman who was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a sanctuary. I'm gonna do this," and she had a pet. And basically, they're like, "Yeah," it got to the point where he was on a leash the whole time. He wasn't going outside, this or that. And they had this whole protocol of you have to keep this door locked, and you call up to make sure it's locked. And then he comes down, and one morning they didn't do protocol. And now that when I say her daughter, this one was grown up, but he runs down, and I'm talking beats her daughter to an inch of death, bites chunks out of her legs. And they said if he wanted to kill her, he would have, but he didn't. And you're listening to the 911 calls, and the owner is like having them. She's like, "You're gonna have to shoot him in the head. You're gonna have to shoot him in the head." And I'm like, it gives me goosebumps because not only you see the cop and he's finding the chimp and he's like, "I've got a shot on him," and of course they obviously, I mean, you can't, like, you're gonna have to put him down, right? Think of the daughter who was attacked. Number one, come here. Think of the people, the family that was attached. Think of the police officers that had to go and put a bullet in that animal's head because of a careless owner. Yes, Sandy, all of this is chimp crazy. It's heartbreaking, right? So apparently chimps are 98.4% the same DNA as a human. So now, if you've watched them, pardon me, if you've watched them, oh, thanks for being a member, Lee. And I know, right? I'm sitting here holding my little one. I'm like, yeah, you're just, this is enough right here, right? Um, when they're showing the things that these chimps were doing around the house, I mean, they're like people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she handed him chicken nuggets. She's like, "Here's your sauce," and he's like opening the sauce with his mouth, and I'm like, "What?" Like, they know to go to the fridge and like get certain food. Like, it's insane to me how much like people. But therein, you see the thing that goes on here, and like listening to some of the women talk in there, where they were like, basically like it doesn't matter if the chimp is 40 or 50 or whatever, it will always be completely dependent on another human, almost like a baby. She's like, look, they don't grow up, they don't go to school, they always love you. There's a brokenness there, and whatever that caused that brokenness, my heart goes out to, in this case, Tanya, these other people who were there. But um, at the end of the day, it's like, these animals aren't meant to, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not meant to live in a basement and never see the light of day, I'm sorry. Um, Also, Tanya here was an exotic animal broker. And this is my thing too, because I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, it's your livelihood. It's, whatever, I get it. Yeah, but they show her house, and like, this is after the whole debacle with Tonka. She's got, these all variety of little monkey babies, running around, and little baby kangaroos and all this. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I could never, number one, I would get too attached. I would never be able to get rid of them, right? And then, kind of an exploitive petting zoo with taking pictures and holding the babies. And I'm just like, this is no, absolutely no, this is not right. And I can see where PETA, somebody would have an issue with that, right? And it not being like, this is the thing, Tiger King, her, they're not answering to anybody but themselves. You know what I'm saying? So like, what if they have a bad day and they don't want to go do this or that, or they don't want to do things up to a certain standard? Well, for me also, I'm like this. I'm like, I couldn't rightfully sell these animals to somebody, because this is me. I'm like, why do you need a baby kangaroo? Like, what are you gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever seen a pissed off kangaroo, number one, when they grow up? You know what I'm saying? They'll kick your ass. It's actually kind of funny to watch. I mean, they're like people, right? Hey, hey, little boy. Yeah, we're doggy crazy here, not chimpanzee crazy. Um, You know what, Rachel? That's a great point, Rachel. Has Jane Goodall spoken on any of this? She knows chimps very well and had so much to respect. I would be very curious. I would be very curious. So yeah. So here's the thing. Let me switch back over to the screen. So you see that was basically the synopsis of it. So the first one is Monkey Love. Second one is Gone Ape. Third one, bless his little heart, makes me want to cry, is Headshot, and then Fantasy Island. Now this is where she's confronting the director, who they had to turn her in. And apparently the Tiger King director has a turtle sanctuary. And I know it's just a rough little life. So he does his own little stuff or whatever. Um, is it a good watch? Yeah. Is it exploitive in the way of, well, first of all, you're watching someone who's kind of exploiting animals, but the show is also kind of exploiting her. You know what I'm saying? Because again, they're not finding regular people to make these docu series about, okay? You know. So, and yeah, in this one in particular, like when you watch again, if you're an animal lover and all that, and you see PETA coming in and trying to rip these animals away and stuff, and you can have empathy for everyone involved. That's what was, I think, well done in this. Because even though I don't agree with what Tanya was doing, I could sympathize with, there's a brokenness in her that these animals fulfill, and they're her family, right, wrong, or indifferent. I mean, this is her child. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, she's blind to the fact that, like I said, is she's not making good decisions, and somebody will get her. Oh, and at the very end of it, she was talking about going to visit. Um, Come here, and hey, I know she went to go visit somebody with a chimp or whatever, and she's like, it was all great and all fine and blah 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 blah, and outside the cage, and then she walked in, and it did not like her, and it did not like that, and it attacked her, and it bit her ear off, it bit her finger off, part of it, bit part of her ear off, enough, right? And she was like, the owner was able to get him and all this, and she's like, I'd still 100% do it. The woman whose friend got her face eaten off. Um, Wait, hold on, just grab and remind me in 1 second, because I'm not sure. Type what you're talking about, just grab it, because I don't remember what she said about the director's mom. Come here. I know. She obviously, Connecticut was like, you're never going to, be allowed to have a monkey again or a chimpanzee or whatever. So she went in with a woman who basically trained them or kept them and fronted the money to get another one, and she would go and visit it. And I'm just like, after all that, so, and he ended up actually dying of very young. He was 15. She said his mom was a prostitute. Oh, now this is the thing. I'll give Tanya this. And thank you, just grab for reminding me. Tanya, like, she's going to say anything, right? So she does not like the guy from PETA, and she has a lot of choice words. Obviously, she's not going to like this director and whatnot and people like that, because, I mean, they turned her in. Now, she did seem kind of decent towards the end. It's okay. It's okay. We're not going to get down and run around right now. So it's either there or in my arms. Your brother's being very nice and calm. He's like, and let's go pull his ear. He's like, my brother's nice and calm. Well, let's rip his ear off. Speaking of ripping ears off, let's go rip our brother's ear off. So that's that. Definitely, Was it worth watching? Yeah. Is it one of those things where it's like, oh God, okay, Paul, I'm gonna have to go sign up and pay this or that to get to it? You can hold off a little bit and wait for it to go to another platform, um, because it's obviously not 100%. I mean, like it's crime, but it's more like a Tiger King kind of watch, right? So there's that. No. That being said, right? Let's move over to the Sarah Boone thing. Okay, um, so just a reminder for everybody joining, we're going to live stream Sarah Boone tomorrow. It's at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be on this channel, obviously. Um, there's going to be several things that they do at this hearing, y'all. Okay, I'm talking discovery, you name it. One of the things we're going to read now, because when I was going over it, I was like, why can't we leave this alone? Obviously, other channels that are like lawyers and people like that know, you know what I'm saying, like the reasonings and stuff like that would be a better option to explain like what is the obsession with this damn cell phone. Um, but nonetheless, for me, I'm just like, why can't we move past that? So there's that. So let's get to it. Please hold. Let me find it. Oh, okay. Okay, we don't need that one. I said, hey. I said, hey. So she's got so we're on Sarah Boone now. She has two, what do you call them, lawyers, right? I mean, they're getting people left and right on this. Motion for return. Here it is. Okay. So let me get rid of the other screens. So we have, supplemental discovery request, defendant's amended witness list. Does it have anything? Nope. Let's see. Defendant's motion for enlargement of time. So that's going to be a very interesting one. Essentially, she's asking for the honorable judge to enter an order extending the deadlines for defense to file any objections to the state exhibits, and for the defendant to file witness and exhibit list for the period of time up to and throughout this 2-week jury trial. So to me, it sounds like they're basically asking to have that whole window of time to keep doing stuff like that. We'll see. I think they're just trying to get any little thing they can, and I mean, I get it, right? Supplemental discovery, the inmate tablet communication records, interesting. Supplemental list. So let's get to this one. Let me make sure you can still see me. Yes, you can. How is that? Yes, you can. I'm not wearing a hat. Okay, here we go. Enough of my cheesy singing. So, motion for the return of property, or in the alternative, motion for independent exam by defense. Okay, right? Let's just jump to number one. Sarah Boone charged in the above styled and numbered case in a one-count information with second-degree murder, which is punishable by up to life. The above styled and numbered case is currently set for jury selection October 7th. Ms. Boone was arrested February 25th, 2020, after giving a statement to law enforcement. And my God, was that a statement or what? At that time, she purportedly consented for her cell phone to be searched, and it was seized. It was purportedly video evidence from Ms. Boone's cell phone that led to the filing of the instant charges. Well, you can say that again. I mean, come on now. I mean, we will never forget that. Okay, so February 25th, 2020, the defendant has been continuously in custody in the Orange County Jail without bond, and neither she nor her attorneys have had an opportunity to see and review her cell phone or have it analyzed by an independent person or the defense team. I'd be scared to let her touch it. Her personally, but anybody really for that matter. I'd be nervous for them to have it. I honestly would. Like what? And I don't know what the laws are. And again, this is where like the lawyer or one of those people, Scott Reich, whoever, to explain. In my opinion, this is how this is my thought process. Y'all help me out here. They've extracted the information off of the cell phone. And they're like, here it is on this disc or print it out or whatever. Here's this. So to me, I'm like, why do y'all want the actual cell phone? Like, if they've taken everything off of it, what's the purpose? And I mean, I get they should be able to look at it themselves. Excuse me, it's starting to happen. Yep, Sarah Boone. Look, Sarah Boone hit me. It hit me. Now, mind you, I've been up since 2 in the morning with the dogs. Sarah Boone started off, though. My body's like, no, not Sarah. So, I guess there's that. So let's keep going and see if my question will answer itself in here. Please hold. Okay. Counsel on behalf of Miss Boone have timely filed a notice of intent to use battered spouse defense. Much of the evidence in support of Miss Boone's defense, including but not necessarily limited to battered spouse, is contained on her cell phone, including documentation to support this defense. The information contained on her cell phone includes, but is not limited to, text photographs. Additionally, and perhaps is essential to her defense, is other potential evidence such as witnesses' names and contact information. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough. I mean, this what's gonna be funny about this is when I can see her right now talking about, no, look, I got a hidden compartment on the phone, okay? I can tell you the prosecutor doesn't know nothing about it. Okay, go to calculator, then go to this file, and that's where it's at. 100% if they went there, they would find more evidence of her abusing like other people in there. It's literally like clueless to her. She's like, I did that? I saved that video? I mean, I don't know. Are we sure that's me in the video? I can see this playing out. Okay, please hold. Okay. The Office of the State Attorney and their agents have had this evidence, said cell phone, in their exclusive possession for their exclusive use and examination analysis since February 25th. 4.5 years. Literally, I'm rejecting this. I am rejecting this. That's how much of this is like, I'm rejecting it. Okay. Presumably, the state attorney's office, with their vast resources, has had sufficient time to review and analyze all the data from the phone to transfer and preserve all needed punitive evidence without the necessity of maintaining physical possession of the phone. The defendant respectfully moves the court for an order directing the immediate release of Miss Boone's personal cell phone to her attorney or a member of the defense team acting on her behalf. Should the court not grant release of the cell phone to defense counsel, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm sorry. Here it goes. Counsel would move and the alternative to examine said cell phone or to have defense expert examine the phone to retrieve the much needed evidence to support her defense. Without the evidence, Ms. Boone will be deprived of her rights under Florida law as well as federal constitutional mandates. Under Florida rules of criminal procedure, the prosecutor shall disclose to the defendant and permit the defendant to inspect, copy, test, photograph any tangible objects that were obtained from the defendant. Should the defendant, counsel, and their representatives not be allowed to obtain Ms. Boone's cell phone, or at the minimum to obtain favorable evidence, not only will procedural state rules be violated, the result will become a violation under Brady versus Maryland. Okay, so let me do this. Boom, boom. Okay, here's the thing. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm none of that stuff, right? Here's me. I also said that I thought the judge was going to give her an extension, and completely wrong about that, right? So I also thought that on this one right here, to me, in my mind, I'm like, let them look at the phone, not her, obviously, right? Can you imagine? First damn thing she'd be doing is Facebook. Oh, oh wow, CM, thank you. CM says for the baby shower. Thank you so much. That's really sweet, CM. I appreciate it. I thank you very much. Um, it's like let her play with the damn phone, right? She's just gonna try and get on Facebook. Google her. I can guarantee you, if you did a subpoena on the phone, the next day after she had it, her first Google search would be Sarah Boone. You know what I'm saying? She would have an Insta. She'd have all sorts of stuff. She'd have a damn what's that called? What's the thing where you can crowdfund money or whatever that people do? I'm losing it. You know what I'm talking about? Where they get donations coming in and stuff like that. GoFundMe's. So Twitter would be on fire. Okay, on fire. Now, I mean, obviously, I'm being, dramatic here, right? We know that when it takes place or whatever. But I just think that it's. Can you imagine the picture that she would put on the GoFundMe? Like an angry, pissed off picture of her in like the evidence room. And it'd be like this angle, like looking down, feeling like this, like with chin like that, like, that, like, hey, with a like bad background. So yeah, but again, I don't see. Please, Amy says OnlyFans. 100% OnlyFans. be the first damn stop. She's like, look, somebody's got to pay for these damn honey buns. Okay. Can't blame her for trying to put the damn honey buns on the damn table. Just keeping food in everybody's damn mouth, right? Ramen noodles and honey buns, okay? Um, girls got to eat. Okay. We got to get that commissary back. So she, yeah, I just would think that he would do it, just to be like, let's move it along, right? So, do you think she asked her new lawyer to show her what comes up with the internet? Kels, that's a good question. Kels asked, do we think that she asked a new lawyer to show her the internet? I, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're going to have to go here in a few minutes because I'm obviously fading now. That when the lawyer comes in, I would assume he's allowed to have his phone on her. I am sure she'd be like, so what's the news saying about me? I mean, she's clearly fascinated with what YouTube and TikTok and the news and all this type of stuff has to say about her. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot of motions tomorrow. Now, the beauty of it will be she has the attorney, so it will go much quicker because the amount of things that they're doing tomorrow, I'm not lying, y'all. I was like, you know, that would take all day, okay, with the amount of things they're going to go through tomorrow. Now, mind you, I think it'll still take a while, but yeah, we'll see. So, yeah, we'll see on that one. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to call it good. We're going to go live tomorrow. We'll live stream. And that's not, again, at 1:30, so probably around 1 or whatever. Cookie says, Cookie, am I saying your name right? Is it Cookie or Cookie? Like, how are you pronouncing it? I just don't want to be saying it wrong. Hey, Dwayne, how's it going? Hey, Kara. Thanks, Carly. So tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So probably like 1 o'clock. Now, y'all know how it goes. Like, do you think it'll really fire up at 1:30? Probably not. But we'll get on at 1 and do whatever. Oh, Peachy Keen, I like that name. Thank you for the super chat. First of all, it said, I love this community, man. I needed to try. Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate it. I'm glad. Um, So yeah, that's what we'll do, and then we'll see. Tomorrow morning's video is an older video. When I say older, you'll see what I'm saying. Of Stefan Stearns, and if you want to like not do your homework, but if you want to get context or whatever, Fox 35 Orlando released like an extended version, I don't know, at this point, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, of those initial interviews before they found Madeline. So I basically, part of them I had already done like thoughts on and reaction to, if you will, but then I went through and literally just did the entire video. So I think my video is like 2.5 hours or something. So it's long, but there was so much of it, and obviously now, I mean, it's kind of obsolete, to be quite honest, because so many more things have come through at that point. But nonetheless, that's what the video tomorrow morning is about. So there's that. Hey, Bo Peep, it's good to see you. And also, everybody, let's say a thank you to Miss Emily, a thank you to Mr. Derek. We do appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for holding the fort down very, very much. And thank you, Sofa Squad, for being here. Thanks for the super chats for the little boys. They're going to get their crib. I got a crib coming, but it's like geared towards dogs, you know what I'm saying? Although I guess that being said, like it would be even better, more indestructible for little babies. But nonetheless, it's like a little crib for dogs. And a couple of fences and stuff tomorrow, so we can start to integrate away from just, this right here, their little hovel that they're in. So I'll post pictures and whatnot. So anyways, that's it. I love y'all. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all have a good evening. I hope you sleep well. And yeah, Sarah Boone tomorrow, y'all. Prepare yourselves. Get ready for it. And that's what we'll do. So y'all sleep tight. Enjoy your evenings, whatever is left of it. And I will see you in the morning. Y'all have sweet dreams.